Hey guys, I'm just trying to give you guys a quick warning. This has a lot of politics in it. We talk about abortions, gun control, and a few other things. I know you guys might have your own opinions, but please watch through this and listen to my opinion and then leave comments. Don't rush things and get into hateful, nasty comments, because we're all human, and we all get to have our own opinion, whether it be shitty or, we agree with it. But like I said, I hope you guys like this. Please watch through it. Leave your comments down below after you watch the video. And yeah, like I said, I hope you guys enjoy this because I enjoy this game. It's a very thought-provoking game. But I will see you guys at the end. Alright, so we're back with Dragon Commander. Or Divinity Dragon Commander. I figured we would play something political with kind of the environment we're in recently. With the loss of some of our liberties and freedoms, starting with first more gun control, which is shitty, and then women basically losing. Well, can't even really just say women because men and women in both senses losing the right to abortions. I mean, yeah, I just figured we'd play something a little more.
Aha! Shush,
Didn't we already go
everyone,
past
shush!
this?
Here comes the long-awaited cup.
I'm pretty sure we went past this. Didn't we have a wife? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that was just me playing the other time. And I guess if we have to continue going through this, whatever, so be it. But yeah, I just feel like this a whole lot of everything is just kind of going away from America, and we're going towards more of a political-driven society, kind of like, I mean, I can't really say this because I feel like if I'm emperor and there's 5 people that tell me what we can and cannot pass that have to vote into it, it's not really the dictatorship that I would say it is.
May the Seven be praised.
Honored to meet you, Commander. Well, Command. Other defend Nate.
Alright, yeah. Cute. Oh. Looks good there. Look at that. Perfect. Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of shitty. I figured, so since we having all this go on, we'd play this. We would, go through some political stuff together. Undo this. And yeah, there we go. Perfect. Oh, I was for sure they were going to go across the way and try to attack my my other port, basically. What are we, Russia?
What a sorry excuse.
Well, the Dragon Commander
I'm
himself.
gonna go grab my water. I'll be right back.
Come, sit, drink with me. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. He's had a few too many. But you take to the
Alright, I'll
right
wait until
too
this
if
guy's
you had
done.
an imperatus for an
yapping.
arm. Never told you how I came by this eyesore, did I?
I don't know, man. It's kind of cool.
'Twas during the great
Alright, I'm
and
gonna go grab
glorious last stand to save the Empire. Horseshit. We fought like lions so that the king, your bloody father, could scarper with what riches he could hold. But my soldiers did their duty. They died where they stood, and I was left for dead, one of an eye and an arm.
Hey, man, and that's what soldiers should do. You made an oath. You should die until, or you should fight until your last breath. Surrender and retreats for cowards. For cowards and children.
Not that any of it mattered. The king's head was shown decorating a stake. Like star crowns will the pines come midwinter night. Defeat. Bah. Luckily, a touch of the malt can relieve its bitter taste. You have the respect of Maxos, and that certainly speaks in your favor. But you'll need to come a long way yet to prove unto me you're not just another pampered prince he yanked away from his mother's teat. So what'll you have then? Mead or milk?
And see, this is what I'm saying. I feel like I've seen this before. I feel like we've been through this already. I'm gonna say mead because I've never had mead before. I've had ale. Yes, I've had ale. Mead is like, made with honey and whatnot. Well, depending on...
Stand in the path of a dragon.
Yeah. Fuck you, Catherine.
Commander, it is imperative that we should win the war. For our enemies are godless heathens in need of annihilation.
Am I a heathen?
To hasten this process, I therefore propose we introduce conscription. For why have young, able-bodied men sit around or do menial tasks when they could be serving in your armies instead?
Here's an imp's perspective, Commander. More soldiers equals bigger battles, and bigger battles equals more explosions. Win-win. Granted, it's a bit of a simplistic perspective, but imps will have their fun, you know.
Conscription may have somewhat of an ill ring to it, Commander, but it might be worth consideration nonetheless. There's not a dwarf that won't take up his axe for the Empire, but elves. A three-fingered man could number their volunteers on one hand. Time to get these weaklings into shape.
Those are all the yays, because I've already done this one.
I don't think
anyways.
conscription is a very good idea, Commander. Not only should a life of soldiery be an individual's choice rather than an obligation, but by drafting so many young men into the army, you're draining our economical reserves. So please don't forget your political obligations because of your military ones.
Yes, but that means the women have to step up and, take charge. This frees up a lot more positions for women to take charge. And I mean, I don't understand why... Why does it only have to be young men that get drafted? Or, I'm sorry. See, this is what I like. Drafting. I wouldn't call it conscription. Drafting for sure. I say once the war's done, send them home. They're done. You got drafted, you don't have to stay, go fucking home.
Commander, even the most peace-loving elf won't deny that in these dark times of war, allowances have to be made which we would otherwise condemn. Conscription, though, goes too far. Let those that wish to fight for our cause do so, but let's not force men away from their families if they feel it is their duty to stand by them.
I say take one person. I mean, okay. Now, this is the other thing. Like I said, we're going to go super political. This one's just a very political-driven game. Like I said, but I'm also not afraid to, share these ideas. Because again, we as humans don't grow together. We don't grow as individuals, and we just don't grow as a community unless we speak to each other. And I think that's the biggest issue, is everybody wants, you need to shut up and listen to my opinion and fuck what you have to say kind of thing. So I think per household, depending on if they have children or not, 1 to 2 people should be taken from the family. Men being the only ones being taken away, that's not fair. That's not right. That's just, you're right. It just isn't proper. Conscription to drafting area, I would say yes to, because, hey, the World War, Vietnam, we had to draft people. We needed that stuff. See, and if we would have kept going with Vietnam and people would have stopped crying like little fucking babies, little bitches, we probably wouldn't be having this issue with Russia like we are right now. As blunt as that's going to sound, sometimes you have to be violent to stop violence. It's unfortunate, but it's the truth. I mean, a bully is just gonna keep beating you until he feels like he himself is in danger, and then at that point he's not going to want to fight back. I mean, he might, but usually there's other people being oppressed by that bully, so you fighting back will raise them to fight too. So it kind of I don't know, it's kind of a double-edged sword. It really depends on the situation. Now, if you're fighting like a gang of bullies, sure, maybe not a good situation. Maybe just find a different way around it. But yeah, why are we only forcing men into the army? Why are we not forcing women? If there's single women, if there's women that can take the place of their husband because their husband, say, is in a wheelchair or can't walk or whatever, can't walk, can't run, can't lift a sword because they're sick or weak, why aren't we, drafting women into the army? I don't know. But again, if we do just draft men, this opens up other areas for women to take over and fulfill these spots. So, I mean, there's a win-win on both sides. As unfortunate as both of that sounds. Because, yes, I'm with you. Why pull people away from their family, if they deem it worthy to stay... Yeah, I know, that's an annoying sound, isn't it? If they decide to stay with their family, try to defend the home front, in a sense. But why not also conscript women? I get, again, why pull them away from their family if they deem it worthy to stay home and defend the home front or defend their family. I understand that, but at some point we have to draw the line. We either stop them there or they're going to come here. So what is the choice? Would you rather have your family watch you die and bleed outside on the front steps? Or would you rather bleed in a different country and still come home? Possibly. If they're here and they're knocking on your door, I'm telling you, all it's going to be is like, it's just not going to be a fun time. It's just not going to be a fun time. It's like what Russia's doing in Ukraine currently. So, I mean, I'm going to just say yes.
Bravo, Commander.
Because
Nothing like
I'm with
fresh
them.
blood to reinvigorate the military. A lot of it will be spilled, yes, but in service of the Seven, that is an honor.
You're just
Not
a
a
fucking
sacrifice.
radical religious piece of shit that needs to shut the fuck up.
Good. Fair's fair, Commander. Oberon and his kin deserve to make a bit of an extra effort, and if they don't make for good cannoneers, at least they'll make for proper cannon fodder.
No, if you see, now this is where, again, Russia sounds like Russia. Shut the fuck up. Do not agree with that. Cannon fodder, then that means you didn't train them properly. If you're sitting here saying their men aren't trained, then your men aren't trained enough to train them. So you would be said cannon fodder. See what I'm saying? I don't know. Double-edged sword with these things. But choices have to be made. Things have to be put into place to push this. But yeah, like I said, I'm not afraid to share my opinions about these things. Again, I'm kind of an opinionated person, so... Unfortunately. Unfortunately. Yeah, I don't agree with saying that, we're going to make somebody cannon fodder because they don't, know how to keep up or how to fight, it's just a bad time all around. Which I actually also was looking into vasectomies because I was talking to a friend about the Roe vs. Wade thing, just kind of sharing ideas because my mic kind of cut on this one. So what I was talking about was men face the same issues young women do. I wouldn't be able to get a vasectomy until I'm like at least 32, 33, or have a child. Like if I were to have a child now at 25, which I don't see happening for another, if it even happens, I'm going to get told no. I could probably get my parents to say something, but I'm 25 years old. I shouldn't have to get my parents' permission to do something to my body. So I get where the women come from. You know, my body, my choice. If I choose to get a vasectomy or if you choose to get your tubes tied, I mean, they say vasectomy is more reversible, but I don't really know how much of that I believe, because that's a pretty, in my opinion, a pretty invasive procedure. I don't know. And I was reading that teenagers up to 16 can get vasectomies if their parents choose to do so. I don't know how much of that I can actually believe either, but I would look into it yourself. Maybe you might learn something. It's always good to kind of challenge yourself and learn new things. So, just a thought. Try to check things out, learn new things. Kind of, again, like a double-edged sword. We gotta respect each other. That's our biggest issue. I think a lot of our issues is, like I said, it's shut the fuck up, sit the fuck down. I'm gonna speak and you're just gonna listen. That's not how this works. You can't do that. Oppressing other people because you feel oppressed. It's just going to cause hate back and forth and cause problems even further. But I get where women come from. Yes, you carry it for 9 months, and trust me, you guys have my fucking respect for that. You really do, because that stuff is brutal. So, yeah, I think at some point, men should sit the fuck down and shut the fuck up about it, but all in the same, if I'm the one that got you pregnant and you're going to tell me, well, I'm keeping this child, and I'm sitting there saying, well, I don't have the money to support this child, and you're going to say, well, too bad. I'm sorry, but that's unfair and not right, you know. But again, that being said, this whole conscription thing where they kept talking about women or men being conscripted into the army, men are going to be the more likely ones to step up and say, well, don't take my wife, take me instead. I don't think many women would say that in that instance. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't think... I mean, you can find a lot of women that just always talk about, well, they're talking about drafting women into the armies. I no longer want equal rights kind of thing. And that's not even a funny joke. Like, if you can't take half the jobs that men do, if you can't do the plumbing, if you can't do electrician, if you can't do roofing work, if you can't do construction work, you know, manufacturing, like motors, cheese, stuff like that, running big corporations, then sure, if you can't do those, then yeah, then we shouldn't conscript women because there's something wrong with the women at that point. But we should be trying to be equals. You should be willing to bleed for your husband. You should be willing to bleed for your son, bleed for your brother, bleed for your father. Much like your father would bleed for you. I mean, not in every case, and again, not in every case for your brother and your son and stuff. But if you have a husband, I guarantee if you were to go get robbed, that man is probably going to defend you. I'm going to say 85% of the time. But let's get back to the game here. Enough outside of this game. We could touch up more on it later. Of course, I pissed off the lizards and the elves, but hey, they're milk drinkers anyways. Henry unfit to be a general, but don't quote me on that, Lord Edmund confides. Conscription, generations of children march to war. As long as they aren't actually children. News from the front, calm before the storm? Sweet.
Fie upon Edmund's
See?
pride, Commander.
Didn't we already do this,
Lizard
or did the
Lords
game
have
crash?
granted him the honor of
I think the
representing
game
our
crashed
mighty
on me
military
shortly
on a
afterwards,
diplomatic
but
mission of
maybe I'm
utter
wrong.
import, and he gets his knickers in a twist because it comes with a spot of sacrament alien to our ways. I should think it would be good fun to attend an imp ceremony. Something is bound to blow up. Isn't that what the generals normally like?
And see, and that's the other thing. I know I just said we would get back to the game, but, because we're, like, my generals are split 50-50, so why are we talking about only conscripting men? And I feel like when she sits there and talks about, oh, well, something's gonna blow up, it would probably be good fun. Isn't that something that general would normally like? What, is it because he's a man you think only men like explosions? I mean, Sure, she said, I think it would... I should, she says, I should think. You mean I would think it would be good fun? Because if you should think it, then you don't think it. And that means you don't like explosions. So what? Because Edmund, who is a lizard, same race, he's the only one that likes explosions? I don't know. It seems a little one-sided there, Prospera. I love you, but hey, seems a little one-sided. Why not send
Commander.
send cutie little Scarlet over here? She'd probably like explosions. Shit, she was saying she wanted to ride on a dragon with a jetpack. I don't know about you, but riding on a dragon that has a fucking jetpack strapped to its back sounds terrifying. I mean, unless she meant it some other way, but you'll figure some things out about this lady later on. She's adorable, but you'll see. I just thought I'd go and say something to her.
Imps, Commander. Are they not truly the lowliest of all the races?
Right.
Were it not for the hint of demon cunning in their blood, we most probably wouldn't speak to them as much as serve them for supper with a series of seasonal stuffings. As it is, however, the lizard lords
Have you
have
seen
deemed
those
it
nasty
fit to
motherfuckers?
strengthen
I
the
wouldn't eat
military
those.
cooperation between ourselves and those demoniacal dewdrops.
You would want to eat an imp, Edmund? I'm not gonna lie, man. I've seen them, and they aren't the best looking things, and they don't look appetizing. I can tell you that right now. I mean, they even talk about the saber bear not even eating them because they...
I'd exhale an existential sigh upon the hearing of such folly, yet give it no further thought but for one devilish detail in the treaty. It is I, as our foremost general, who must, quite literally, stoop to inspect their armies. An impish high priest will be present, figures fit for farce that are greeted and received with ridiculous amounts of highly ritualized protocol. As Henry might say, Commander, I'd rather lick marmalade from an orc's behind than bow to an imp.
See, I'd rather eat an
My very
orc.
reason for currying
than an
your
imp.
draconic benevolence at this hour. Certainly I have your blessing
And
to
again,
abstain from these
just talking
grotesque
about eating an orc.
formalities and tend to
You'll see that
business
here in a
rather than
minute.
etiquette.
And I mean it, I'm with them. If a courtesy is requested and they ask you to check their armies, you as a general, you as a citizen, have a duty. You as a person of higher power in this community, in the kingdom, to the empire, have a job and duty to serve your empire when asked, and not a second time. You are to do it the first time asked, and have no qualms about it. You know, like, I mean it. I don't care if they have you jumping through hoops. If a courtesy is demanded, you must deliver upon it. Such are the rules of diplomacy, Edmund. And if you have a problem with it, well, I can show you the edge of the raven if you really like it. I don't know if you can sprout wings because I'm a dragon. You seem to be just some scurrying lizard.
Your wish, my command, et sorry cetera. But if there indeed be hoops, the snapping of little necks will be added to the ritual.
Hey, and then they'll be serving you and with a side of stuffing and marmalade or whatever the fuck you said.
I must say,
Alright, so I'm going to call it here for this episode. I'm going to cut this in half because this is an hour and 30-minute video that I've got to edit, and I know that hour-long videos to 40-minute videos are kind of brutal to watch in one sitting, and this just has a lot of politics in it, so I don't want to, beat you guys dumb with my own thoughts. Please feel free to tell me your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing other people's opinions. I like the idea. Like I said, I like talking to people about things. But yeah, leave comments, maybe like this. If you guys aren't subscribed, there's about 85% of you that don't subscribe. Not that there's a lot of viewers, but 85% of you aren't subscribed, so why don't you guys subscribe for me? Because I would greatly appreciate it. And yes, please leave a like down in, or leave a like and leave a comment, if you would, please. I mean it. I love seeing stuff like that, so... But yeah, I hope you guys liked this. This is it for this one. The next one should be right up after this one as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, because there is going to be another one. And I'll see you guys in the next episode, whatever that might be.